Hello, I think we're live. I'm Raphael Darley, and today we're going to be doing another bit of live coding. Today we're working on something new, which is what I'm calling, at least for now, PyJump, which, at least initially, is going to be a very basic, effectively jump box for WebSockets. It will take at least two, maybe more later, but for now it will just take two WebSocket connections, and when it receives a message from one, it forwards it on to the other. And this comes up in a project that I'm working on called Merlin AI, where we basically it's an online GUI that allows you to do various kinds of AI in speech transcription and things like that. And I'm working on and going to start building a platform called Pantheon, which you might hear about later, to be able to distribute those computational loads across multiple nodes, which I'm planning to write on the Beam. Haven't quite decided in what yet, but this is effectively a far simpler version of that, to continue with the code, just something basic to get it working, and then more advanced versions can be implemented later. So let's have a look at the code. I haven't had any commits yet, but the GitHub repo should be in the description if you want to have a look at the code. So let's have a look at what I've got so far. This is just a brand new project. All I've done is start up a virtual environment, and I've installed dependencies which I need so far, which I think are these. I'm using Starlet because it's what I've found to have worked. It has its problems, and I'm not entirely thrilled with it, but I think it should work for this kind of thing. As I say I'm really interested in Erlang and Elixir and Gleam and those languages, as well as obviously Rust, but Python is often faster at doing this kind of rapid development of prototyping. So my idea for now is that basically we have a node endpoint and a client endpoint, and the client connects and the node connects, and then they forward messages back and forth to each other. So there are certainly different ways of doing that, but the way I'm planning to start doing this is effectively by making a queue. I think to start with, two queues, one for each way, and then one receives when one receives a message, it puts it into the queue, and the other gets it out and then sends that. So to start, I'm going to make the handler for the node, and then this will be the client handler. And then what I want to do is I'm going to add copy this in here. Then I want to I want to do uvicorn .run app, and then well, I'm just doing it on localhost for now, so that'll be fine, but eventually we will want it on host equals 0.0.0.0, so then you can see it on other things. It should, I think it defaults to port 2001, but I always just put it in to make sure. So then what we can do is accept the WebSocket, and then for now I think what we'll do is just implement effectively an echo server for both of them, just to make sure they work, and then we can look at how to pass the messages between them, because basically it is just going to be an echo server, except it's not echoing it to you, it's echoing it to somebody else. So what we want to do is we want to get a message, WebSocket.receive, and maybe it's my misunderstanding of Starlet, but I find that you have to specify the receive text, receive binary, those kind of things. There might be a way around that, but I've run into issues with that, which isn't ideal, because if you're just forwarding, you don't care what is in the message necessarily, you just want to forward that on. But for now, everything is just going to be text, so I should just be able to do that, and then I will print the message just so we can have a look at it, and then just send that right back. So now what I'm going to do is there's this brilliant Chrome extension here, which allows you oh, I should probably okay, so it started up, it should be running. So now if I go localhost colon 8001, it should if you see, I remember getting this before. It's getting a 403 forbidden. I could try, I don't know, it might be because of that. It still gets a forbidden. Yeah, I've had this issue before. Oh wait, that's not what I wanted. Just let me. This is something that I find very frustrating about a lot of libraries, is that you get error messages like that that are very opaque. And I know that's not necessarily easy to solve, but what's actually happening is often very obfuscated. Okay, so I will because there must be something in here which is preventing that from connecting, because it is, as you can see, it gets the WebSocket connection, but the upgrade fails. So this is even more frustrating because I know on other things that I've done previously I've had this same error, and it has been fixed. Is it hitting? And that's it, because I haven't got a need /node. I think that's why. There we are. Okay, that's not terribly helpful. A 404 might have been yes. So it returns a 403 forbidden if it doesn't have an endpoint for that, which is just great. Okay, so now if we send a request, excellent. That gets printed out there, and that just closes the connection. Okay, so that is fine. And let me move these over here. And then what we can do is we can put this in we can say while true, do that, and now if we restart the server, it should be able to open this connection, and we can keep sending those, and they keep popping up. So that's great. So now what we want to do, and I can pass this over here. Now I should be able to close this and connect to the client and do the same thing. So now what we want to do is we want to be able to hook one of these up to another. So I think the way to do that is so I don't, because ideally there would be, each would have a queue, and then you'd have things be able to send to it, and that's one of the things that you get with an active framework. So that's why I'm really excited about doing stuff in Beam languages, because I think this kind of behavior is modeled much more nicely by that kind of architecture. I've looked a bit into Actix, and there's a nice Actix WebSocket tutorial, but I do like Rust in general, but I think it does fall down. We shall see. The problem is that example is quite old, and there's been breaking changes made in the libraries. But I certainly think that would be an interesting experiment, but I will try first. So hopefully in a stream soon, you'll see something similar being done in, as I say, either Erlang, Elixir, or Gleam. I've looked at I like Erlang and Elixir, but one of the nice things I like about Rust is the type safety, and I found that catches a lot of errors, and that when I'm coding in languages that don't have that, there are bugs that tend to pop up. It's the kind of thing where you code it and then a couple days or weeks later there's some really weird behavior that's because 0 is false, or other things that you just don't get in Rust, or other strongly typed languages, but Rust is the main one that I've used. So that's why I like Gleam. But anyway, so I think, at least for now, probably the best way to do this would be to make a global queue for the client, and for the client and for the the nodes, which is not very elegant, but I think that's the way to do it. So, because I've done something, let me just check. So there's, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say node queue equals async IO dot queue, and then I'm going to do client queue equals that, and then what I want to do is, because both endpoints are basically going to do this exactly the same thing, just with different queues. I'm gonna want some enqueue, I suppose, messages here, and send queued messages, and each of these we want a WebSocket, and then for the enqueuing one we just need a message queue, and I think the signature would be the same for this one. Yeah. So to enqueue the chunks, we just want to while true, we want to basically do that, but when we get the message, we want to do message queue dot put, and I think we want to do the no wait, because it shouldn't matter. My understanding of the difference is that if you put with the put no wait, it tries to put it in the queue, and if it's at the max, if the queue is full, it not panics. It returns it has an exception. But with the wait, with the no, without the no wait, with the normal put, it will block until that's free. But we're not limiting this, and it should be cleared out pretty quickly, so that shouldn't be a problem. So yeah, so we just want to do and that will just be the message. because we don't care what's in the message. We just, whatever it is, we just want to forward it on. And then in the send queued messages, what we'd want to do, and just we want to say, while true, message equals, and then we want message queue dot get. Oh, you need to await this. So this will wait until you get that message, and then we want to await websocket.send send text and that message. So then all we should, instead of this, which I will comment out for now, we should just be able to create a task. So we go asyncio dot create task, and then that's going to be in queue messages. We want the WebSocket, and then this is going to be the node queue, and then the same thing here. And if we copy these two lines, I think we can probably get rid of that. I'll just keep one copy of it. And then we want the same thing here. So actually, this, for the send, so for the send queued messages, we want to send our own ones, but for the in-queue messages, we want to put them into the other queue. So that's going to be into the client queue. And then here, so we're going to enqueue the messages into the node queue, which is right, but we're going to send messages from the client queue. So let's see if that works. So what we want to be able to do is we want to be able to connect to a node here. Oh. It's so I think the problem is that is to do with async IO. So what I think so what I think this what I think the solution to that probably is to define a loop here, and then get the get event loop. I think that will be fine. And then add a run forever. Now this doesn't gracefully shut down, but that might be something that we could look at another time. Loop. Oh, I don't know. Well, we shall see. I don't know whether create task is a So it does connect, it just immediately closes. So let me try run until complete. I don't know if that will work. No. Now I've got a new fun error. Closing handshake. Closing handshake failed. Run to American. So maybe it needs to be the get running loop. We can try that. See if that makes any difference. Oh, need to make sure it's running. No. Right. Well, this is one of the reasons why I'm not a huge fan of async IO. I will look a bit more into this, and I might do another stream soon and try and figure out how to do this, because I've had quite a few problems with async IO, and I've generally managed to fix them. So hopefully you can fix these as well. So thank you very much, and I hope you'll join in next time, where hopefully we can actually get the async IO part